Welcome, fellow YouTube travelers. I'm Barunan, and I'm on a mission to learn art. On this mission, I think it is important to have a lot of fun. And now, when Arcane has come back to consume my life once again, and my League addiction is at an all-time high, I thought it was appropriate to inject some of that into my channel. So in this video, I will study how the League items are painted, and then paint 3 of my own, trying to recreate the style. And the final goal is to place them among the items in the game and see if they fit in. So sit back, relax, and wish me luck. Here I have gathered some references of various items from the new League wiki. I have some basic items, a pair of epic items, and a pair of legendary items / boots. Looking at the basic items, we can see that the background is basically just black or another darker color. In some cases a gradient of some sort. The item is the only thing in the image. They are very stylized, as all of the items are, and all have some interesting lighting. And a few of them have a colored rim light from below, making them jump out from the image. Like this longsword here, like the BF sword here, and the needlessly large rod. The rendering is pretty smooth, and there are not a lot of smaller textures, except for the longsword, which has a little bit of dots on it. And this is something that continues further up the chain as well. Now, the epic items are not too different. The biggest difference is that the background isn't black anymore. These have backgrounds to make the items look more magical, and at the same time accentuating them to make them jump out more and to make them easily distinguishable from one another. They also have larger areas with more saturated colors, which also adds to this effect. The legendary items are just like epics, but turned up to 11. So the backgrounds are even crazier and even more popping colors. And there's a lot of contrast. So we have almost black and then pure white. And the same for this boot, almost black and then pure white. With that out of the way, let's get into the painting. When I started thinking about this video, I got the idea of painting a stapler. I just find it kind of funny that there would be a stapler as an item in League. I mean, someone in the League universe must have a need for one, right? And looking for reference of staplers, I found this super cute mini stapler. And since I like orange, I chose to make an orange mini stapler as the basic item. I have no idea of what stat this should have in the game, so give me some ideas down below in the comments. I started with just blocking in the main colors, taking the oranges from the stapler reference and the metal colors from the League reference. With enough practice, this will be a really quick and good method. But as it is now, I am not too good at getting the perspective right when I start out like this. So in the next one, I will start with line art to make that part easier. And that is something that I have realized during this project, that the fundamentals need to be good to make something that looks as good as the League items. I have also realized how good these artists actually are, and how difficult it can be to create something like this, and how many things there are to consider. When the blocking in was done, I started shading it. I had to push and pull a lot around the edges because I didn't define them sharply enough in the first step. This was a mistake and meant that it took more time than necessary. Eventually, I was done with the shading. I wanted to mimic the rim light that some of the other basic items had, so I picked a blue that would contrast the orange nicely and highlighted the edges that pointed downwards and backwards. And to finish it off, I painted a subtle gradient for the background. For the epic one, I wanted to make a bigger stapler. And I think the prefix needlessly large, like the needlessly large rod, is quite funny. So I made a needlessly large stapler. This one I started with making a rough line art to make it easier to get the perspective right. For this I used the mirror tool, since I thought it would be cool and a little bit funny if the stapler was a double stapler. This one is of course bigger than the mini stapler, since it is supposed to be needlessly large. I also gave them some teeth, as some foreshadowing for the next one. With the line art done, it was time to fill in the main areas with color. I chose basically the same ones as for the last one to make them coherent. And after that, it was just a matter of rendering everything, which took a while since there was a lot of different planes to do. When it was done, it was time to make a background with a little bit more flair than the last one. I wanted to contrast the orange with a blue, like a magical splash, to make the double stapler stand out. For the third and last one, I made a legendary item, and of course I was gonna make a legendary stapler. And who else needs a legendary magic stapler than Rabadon himself? I don't really know a lot about the lore of Rabadon, but if he has a death cap with teeth, he probably has a lot of magical papers that he needs to staple together. And that stapler probably also has some teeth. As with the last one, I began with drawing some rough line art to get the perspective somewhat right. Then I filled in the two main areas with color, the orange and the blue. After that, I went straight into rendering. It was a lot of fun to paint this, rendering the teeth and especially the inside of the mouth, making the ridges to get some visual interest. When I felt relatively done with the base shading, I wanted to add some markings, like on Rabadon's death cap. To do this, I created a clipping mask and set it to multiply. Then I chose an orange color and started painting. This makes these darker markings that follow the underpainting. This little trick makes it really easy to draw these kinds of markings or tattoos on anything. When they were done, it was time to make a background fit for a legendary item. I tried to replicate the style of background that we can see on the death cap, but making it my own and in purple. And after a lot of fidgeting and adding more and more, I finally felt like it was done. And with that, I was done with this project. It was so much fun to do this, and I feel like I learned a lot. I have also gotten so much respect for the artists that make the games that I love. And now, it is time to test if I succeeded with the challenge. Do these items actually fit in with the other League items? Here they are among all the rest. Tell me in the comments below if you think I succeeded or if you want me to do this again with different items. I also wanted to show you what they would look like on a character in the game. So I thought of who of the champions might need a stapler more than anyone. And of course it's Heimerdinger. So here it is, Heimerdinger with all the staplers equipped. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it, and if you did, consider liking and subscribing. It helps out a lot. Okay, I think that's all. See you in the next one.